Okay. I don't know why it's showing the. Oh, right. Very good. All right, everyone. Thanks for coming and listening. I don't know if anyone gets this, but if they do, this is my favorite video on the internet. Look it up later. It's great. Um, so basically, he is somebody that claims to be really, successful, even though he has no technical ability, and that is like the claim of vibe coding a little bit. But we'll get into that. All right. So before we get into vibe coding, I just want to, start off with my impression of AI in general. So I don't know if anyone else experiences this, but talking to AI sometimes becomes very disconcerting. Like something very strange about it. Almost like you're talking to like a crazy person, like someone that's insane. So and why is that? So like it once lied about CSS. Like it just straight up made up a CSS out of whole cloth. And that was before it was an AI agent, so you didn't see it right away. So it was actually very disappointing. Like I saw the code and I was like, oh, that's great. I didn't know that existed, and it didn't. So that was very upsetting. But you look at it like, why are you lying? You know linear algebra. Why are you lying about CSS? And it's such it's a disconcerting feeling. And so it's important to understand what AI is actually doing when you interact with it. So without getting too technical, because I don't really understand it myself, but the concept is that it tokenizes all of your language, and it builds up a sentence or your answer based on the predictions of that matrix, right? And it's amazing, but it's guessing, and it's guessing really well. So that's a clue of how it should be interacted with. That it is it will produce copyable things, and the best way to use it is something that's easily falsifiable. Like I was speaking to lawyers, they're in they're in a little trouble because people are gonna get caught quoting cases that don't exist. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen a lot. So how do we avoid that? Right, again, it doesn't also, there is no memory, it's not learning from your interaction at all. That's a misunderstanding. Why it loses context so powerfully is because every prompt in a conversation is just adding on to the previous prompt. And it's not understanding or becoming better because of your prompts. All right, so, okay, so I saw this video the other day, and I wanted to speak about, I wanted to just show this quickly. If the internet will load.
Code generators, aka vibe coding, have gotten so good. Check out what Gemini can do now. If you go to 2.5 Pro, the latest model, come over here and create a canvas and say, generate a LinkedIn clone, what you will discover is that it can produce this massive amount of code. And when you preview it, look at this. This is literally a LinkedIn clone, down to creating posts, down to your profile section, even a...
Okay, so he's here giving the impression that he recreated LinkedIn. But, ooh, no. But what he's really showing over here is a TSX file with no backend. So he hasn't recreated LinkedIn. So I wrote a comment over here. I said, nice work. 1 second. Just saying, calling it a LinkedIn close feels misleading. It's more like a model car versus a real car, front end, business logic, database. And then I wrote, I said the hard part is database logic and database design. And then I wrote, comment cleaned up by AI assistants. I asked it to generate a more polite response. So what do I mean by that? I'm saying this is not, the guy didn't, it's nonsense for a couple of really interesting reasons. 1 second, I just want to get back to. So, firstly, it's not terribly interesting LinkedIn's front end is available online. It's a publicly referenceable file. I'm saying not we. You can see the HTML and the basic functionality. It's also when you say recreate LinkedIn. So when you're asking the AI to recreate LinkedIn, from the front end perspective, you're giving a lot of information. But from the back end's perspective, you're not really asking it anything, because there is no question there. The business logic of every business is much more of a specific question. So it's not even that the prompt can't give it to you. You're not even asking for that. So and by the way, I checked this like last night. I was like, I went onto Lovable, and I'll show you. And I was like, let me just make sure I can't actually vibe code the whole app that I'm claiming you can't actually vibe code. So I was like, go make me this app. And I was like, oh no, I have to change my talk. And I look at the files, and no, it's like, and then I read the prompt, and it's like, we created your app for you. I was like, create a Next.js with a full back end, and like, so then I like, and it's like, okay, we created it for you. And then like, right then it's like, now you have to connect it to your Supabase account. Also, we decided to go with Vite instead of Next.js because, you know, to keep things simple. We made you a front-end application, and we decided that you have to use like a front-end framework to connect to back-end. So we'll get into that. But and then I saw this also. I'm just going into like the non-technical stuff first to like, you know, to bring out our point. I watched this video of this lady saying like, all the haters out there hate vibe coding. I just vibe coded this conference, and like, you know, you software developers, the gatekeepers, like always, like, we can do this now and whatever. So I'm looking at that, I'm like, when did you think that we didn't want you to understand technical things? Like, when I was in that product meeting with you, trying to explain to you why it's so hard to migrate databases with no downtime, do you think I wanted you to know less technical things when you were rolling your eyes? I'm so glad you're here with me, dealing with null pointers and errors. Like, we're not gatekeeping, but it is not interesting to produce. Yeah, you can produce like a conference landing page, but what is the value in that? And we'll get to that. We'll get to that soon. Okay. One thing, and I wanted to show. This is I have permission to show you this, by the way. 1 second. So a friend of mine, this is the last point, and then this is the last point and this point. But so a friend of mine messaged me today. He's like, I just vibe coded an application, and it's like a whole CRM for my wife's like patient management. And I was like, it's amazing. And I was like, also maybe he slugged up the vibe here. So this is him. I asked him what backend he used. Now you shouldn't laugh too much. No, you should. We deserve it. All right.
I don't know anything, but I don't know if there's any real backend. Basically, what I'm using is Tailwind for the front end, and then I think for the back end I'm using.
What's there?
Does it make sense to be that I'm using HTML? Would that be JavaScript? I think I have a JSON package in my thing, and I wish I knew I was really safe. And what was the other thing?
I don't.
Yes, but that's for the JSON. But yes.
So okay, so there has to be, so we have to define what the value over here, because I don't think it's worthless. But let's go weiter 1 second. I just lost. Okay. Fine. Okay. So this is really I covered this, like, and the other thing is I've seen online, you know, real problems with people just exposing their keys, and like it's just unbelievable. Anyway, so that's not for us because we're engineers. I don't know if anybody ever had this. Like, I've been playing around with it, and like this is, you know, that's real thing. Fine. So now I might be giving the impression I'm making fun of this vibe coding stuff, and I like using AI. So I just want to show you this video for a second and then comment on this, just for a second. Oh, sound.
Where like most of the code is written by AI. And I don't mean next 12 to 18 months, we'll reach the point where like most of the code is written by AI. And I don't mean like auto.
So I saw like Satya Nadella say the same thing. He said like 30% of the code is AI, and Mark Zuckerberg was like maybe 50% of the code is AI. And when I looked at that, I was like, that's it? I mean, I mean, I'm not talking about my code because it's probably closer to 80%. I'm saying so. So I'm very bullish on AI. So how do I advance this contradiction? I mean everything you see here tonight was AI. Like I'm saying, I can't spell. I'm seeing what for like so I'm very very bullish on AI. So what is what do I think AI is for? So firstly, AI is for us like it is for learning. It is what we dreamed of. It is a learning superpower. I remember like at my current job, they were like, we're building this backend Lambda in C#. I've never dealt with dependency injection. I never compiled C# before. Like I never worked in it. And yeah, in like a week, I had like a working Lambda that's running all of like Stripe verification in AutoTrader. So it's a pretty used backend, and I just wrote it because I don't know. I knew how to write it in JavaScript, and I was like, hey, I need to do this. So could you show me what to do? And then when it broke, I was like, I don't know. I mean, I had somebody help me with some tree shaking, but that's insane. And then let's say like all your dumb questions or the questions that you felt were dumb are now have answers because of AI, and now you can like dip into. Like this is like I want to give a couple of examples. So I'm working on this VR-based medrash, just like base medrash. You go into, take Swarm off the shelf, and go through Swarm. 1 second. How do I get out of this again? What? Second. So this is like something I built with Three.js, and this is WebXR. So you can like go in. Now it doesn't look like much, and it's because it isn't, but you can open a Safer inside there, and you can turn pages. This is going to look very funny. I'm just warning you. Like the turning is not the turning is not right, but you can go there, and I didn't use like a graphic generator for this. Meaning this is raw code and geometry. So I would never been able to just step into this API like without spending a long time like studying it. I mean, who has the time to do that? But now with AI, you can pick these things up like really fast. So anything you wanted to know, any language, C, you wanted to learn C, you can learn that. It's not a problem anymore. You'll be able to follow the steps. You're an engineer, and so obviously you could have done that before, right? But now the point of entry is so much faster. 1 second. Okay. 1 second. So I think for any sort of, what did we see from like the LinkedIn and the regular CRM stuff is that we do two types of engineering work. We do some type of engineering that's original. Very rarely do we do that. I mean, that's the core business logic of a lot of applications is somewhat original. But most of the work we're doing is just copying expected patterns, like signups and CRMs, and you're not like, we're going to put the password and then the username. Like no one's going to do that, right? So just that's the way it's set. So AI can immediately produce it for you. And so like I have this little startup that is a like a point-click-clear integration. I know how to do that, Agav, if you ever want to know. But so it's a point-click-clear integration, and the front end of it is just like a CRM. So and we're going to do that later. But if you know how to, like, if you have good typing and your code is pretty clear on how you're pulling things, so then you're saying, hey, spin up the CRM. Takes a second because your code is set up correctly for that. SDK integrations, right? You never have to like look up docs anymore. Hey, Amazon, how do I grab like a signed signature from you and then upload like a URL? Do I have to like read the docs for that? No, never again do you have to do that, because for the most part it would just know that. It just saves a ton of time. Well, yeah, but then you like Google. I'm saying it eventually gets it right for that type of thing, and it also gets you. So I didn't say this before, but like for tasks where you need 100% accuracy, so AI is useless. But like I record like a podcast, right? So it's called the Walter Sharp Show. I use something called Riverside FM, and what's so amazing about it is that it produces like the transcript for you. You can edit in the transcript. The point is that if you need 100% accuracy from AI, so then it's useless. But for us, if we can get to 80%, 90%, that's perfect, and then we'll just finish it. Okay. How much time do we have? I want to make sure there's time to code. 1 second. So how do I think you're supposed to use AI? So firstly, like I don't believe there'll ever be an AI engineer, because you can't ship something without someone being responsible for it, and the responsibility hasn't shifted. You have to know what your code does. If you're like clicking, like there was this meme, if you're clicking like, when I AI code, I click accept all, it's gonna be a disaster. I had a project where I was trying to do that, and like I had to start again. It was just like it just ran away from me. And what you end up doing is your code immediately becomes legacy code. The idea of like someone just vibe coding, if we open up those TSX files, they're like they're 30, they're like long components. They're not splitting it up unless you ask it to. And then if you're going to do more and more and more of that, you're just going to end up with like reams and reams of code that you never want to look at again, right? Why do you hate jumping into legacy code? Because it doesn't make sense. There's zombie code everywhere. Your code will become legacy code in a second if you love it. So you have to understand everything that you do. 1 second. And then what I've discovered is that good coding practices are even better with AI, because having good readability allows you, again, for yourself to be able to jump back into code bases, to be able to, once it's refactored, so the AI always understands better what you're asking it to do. When you're looking at that, but if you have like a huge HTML file and you're like clean up the testimonial section, AI doesn't really know how to do that. But if you make the testimonial section into a component, and then you say, hey, make this better or whatever, so then your chances are 100-fold that it's going to get it right. Okay, cool. So now I want to do a quick example of how I do this, of how I think we should do this, and then we'll take questions. And by the way, these are just my horrors on the topic. It's a very new thing, and I'm interested to hear what everyone else has to say. 1 second. Okay. Oh, wrong one. Okay, I spun up this Vite project today. 1 second. With these prompts. Like, I just wanted to start it off. I'm not cheating here. I just wanted to make sure like we could just get it going. Okay. 1 second. Fine. So I'm just going to get one. I'm going to start off. I can't hold this and do N-word. What? I mean, if you... Bekavod. 1 sec. No, this is just... I'm just using Copilot. Oh, oops. Yeah? Yes. I know about that. Okay. Okay.
Still needs to be bigger.
Really?
Yeah.
Oof. I don't know. I think that's as big as we're gonna go. Okay, 1 second. Okay, I'm gonna start with my first prompt. Okay. No, 1 second. Okay. Superbase. Sorry, 1 second. Sorry, I'm just getting it to connect. Okay, 1 second. What's going on, Kolodny? Okay. Okay, so I'm gonna connect to my Supabase account. All right, so create a Supabase setup with these creds. Okay, we're gonna make an ideas board. Let's see if the internet's working over here. Otherwise, I'll show you. Okay, so wants to install Supabase. Very good. And then it's going to set up the account. Ooh. All right, so we're installing Supabase. So far, we are... oh, come this side. Ooh, what are it doing there? No, I told it to add that up. Okay, fine. Okay. Let's see. Okay, so let's see what it did. Okay, fine. So here's, I always like to, so let's see what it did. Okay. So it set up the client and then it, fine. So let's see that. What am I showing? What are you, yeah. Oh, can I make the font bigger? Can people not see? Is that better?
Yeah.
Okay, fine. All right. Okay. All right. So commit. Okay, fine. Commit that. This is so lazy, right? I just don't want to type.
Commit that.
Not a chance. I'm showing you that you can do it. Like I'm trying to show the real. We're reviving over here. I'm saying.
Commit that.
No, I don't know what the problem is. Anyway, fine. All right. Okay. Cool. Now, okay. So now we should be connected. Actually, am I running? Yeah. Okay. Fine. All right. Cool. All right. So now I'm gonna I'm not even giving it my whole. 1 second. Sorry, I just had my type. I'm sorry. 1 second. Oh, there we go. Okay, so this I made it up before, but I'm just giving you a type from my the idea table. Okay, so I'm saying okay, make this type from the ideas table and make hooks. My spelling is terrible with I'm okay with make hooks. So I'm gonna tell it to make hooks for CRUD operations for this table. Okay. So right now this is just like very boilerplate. Okay, so here's the type. And now my hooks are coming in. Okay. No, I don't like this because it is. I want an abstraction. I want to write an abstraction for. Like I don't think I should have the Supabase stuff directly in the hook. So, 1 second. Abstraction for the Supabase calls. Can consume. Okay, so let's see it refactor that. So like when those, there are a lot of good code out there. So if you're sending it to good coding practices, it's gonna know what to do. All right. Okay, so now it created the hooks and the idea service. 1 second, did it delete that? What? No, you can't do that. I want. It has to fix that itself. That's to do that. Anyway, but I'm gonna.
Just ask it to fix that line. Like,
Yeah, no, right.
No, ask it to fix the line.
All right, all right, all right. We're doing this together.
No brain.
Just in the thing, just say there's an error, fix it.
fix
Yeah,
it.
that's
Don't-
not. We know. There you go. Oh, it's so dumb that it didn't even. Okay, I think we're gonna do one actual of our own edit.
Let's see if we can figure it out.
What?
Keep going. Let's see if we can figure
No. I'm just gonna put that there. I think we can. I think we're allowed to do one actual edit. I think that's fine. I think. No, I'm saying we're not truly. That's my point, right? Okay, fine. So we have these two files, and then want to fix the idea. Same thing over here. Type. Cool. And that is not used. Brilliant. Okay. Excellent. Okay, so let's commit that. Let's commit that. Now, if we really want to be cool, we can if we really want to be cool. Now, this is the best part about this is that it didn't save. Oh, that's weird. No, I don't think so. Anyway, so let's okay. Let's make tests for both. Oops, I meant. What did I mean? That's really funny. I just wrote Jira instead of. I'm pulling a blank. What am I supposed to? What was I saying? Right. Cool. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Yes, that's a really good point. So I'm using so I didn't speak about this. So let me just show what I'm using over here. This is VS Code, and down here it has like Ask mode and Agent mode. So Agent mode is the one that will actually change code for you, whereas Ask is just I'm talking. Copilot is a little different. Copilot is more like an autocomplete. So
What are you using Copilot?
this is Copilot, but as an agent. So and I'm using Gemini for the model. I found that like none of these things matter in the sense that they're all the same. They're all like okay, like and they all work basically the same. I've used Cursor. I've used Cursor, Windsurf. The model, like I've used Claude and Gemini. I haven't noticed like a major difference between the two. I don't know if anyone disagrees. Then that's fine. So you see, like we're using it like this. We've now generated the business logic. We've now generated the tests. I suspect that when we do run the tests, they won't work because there'll probably be something with some mocking. But so usually with testing, this is like this is very powerful. That usually with testing you have to get one test right. So I usually figure out all the mocking, write one test, the most basic test, just to get all the mocking run, and then you can just say, hey, I just generate like 1 million tests. And because it's basically the same. It's basically the same thing. So that just so again, once you do one thing correct, so then it solves itself. What?
Then it's good if you tell the model, think outside the box and think of every single use
Right.
case. Then sometimes it's pretty good.
Well, it's good. It's good if you wrote. But it's good if you wrote the code right. Meaning, like if you say test this huge form for me, that's useless. But if you refactor it properly and you say, okay, test this button, and it's statically typed, so then it sees the inputs to the button and it sees the typing on that button. So then it's very easy for it to figure out what all the tests are, because this is a submit button. So the more like that I'm pointing out, the more declarative your code is, the more refactored your code is, the easier it is for the AI to just know what you want. And it's easier to do that because, wow, it really doesn't like setting the type. I'm saying.
It's new syntax. It has no
Huh?
point on it.
You can
Oh.
take every if you don't like.
You're right. But anyway, okay. So these are the tests. All right, fine. Now I want to. Okay, cool. Now, let's create the front end. I want it to a notice board with posted notes and a plus at the bottom. To create each should be each card and you click should.
Does it work better if you give it smaller sentences?
No, I don't find that at all. I don't find that at all. Now what's going to be generated now is going to be horrible, but that'll be fine because we'll fine tune it. Right. Cool. Okay, one other thing I wanted to mention, which hopefully we're going to get to, is that I don't know about you, but I used to rely on like a lot of open source for like dumb things, and even let's say like I never did time stuff. I just always used to use Moment.js until they got deprecated. I had like a test to make one of those things had like specific business rules. If it's like right away, then it's like a few minutes ago, and if it's like a week ago, then you say that in words and whatever. And I just like took the rally card and I put it straight. That type of stuff is like where AI shines, and you don't even need to. You can just get it to work with the data API. You don't have to you can get much closer to the metal. You don't have to oh, I need to use this like stupid thing because I'm too lazy to learn how to manipulate dates or whatever. Now you can get that. So we're gonna hopefully we'll play with that soon. Okay, so let's see if it actually built something. That'd be pretty cool. One second. I just need to make this. 1 second. It's not. It's. 1 second. Okay. Let's see if it runs. I'll be. Huh? Ooh. So this is like a good example of how code. NPM. 1 second. I can't. For some reason, it's like blocking. That I can't get to my terminal here. Oh, there. Okay, there. No, but it's like hiding my.
Oh, you're.
I don't know why the thing is doing that.
Make it a little smaller.
1 second.
Just drag it till there.
What?
Drag it up.
No, I have, but I'm saying I don't know why it's like blocking me. Oh, there. It's NPM. Once I just run it, then I'll okay. One second. Let's see what I made. For sure.
Crash?
Oh, does it work?
No, it's I think it's still building.
You have to install any new. Scroll down.
I can't see. 1 second. I'm sorry. I don't know why this thing isn't. I can't. Anyone know why my thing is doing this? It's like. I just run it in a terminal. That's one
Ask
thing.
the AI. Why are you
Very
not
good.
working?
Very good. Just 1 second. It was running twice. Just run it over there. Okay, I don't want to use too much of your time because I did. One second, let me just see that. Okay, if this is not working, I don't want to waste too much time, and I want to get to questions, so I'll show like something else I generated beforehand. But oh no, this is not it. This is not it. It's the wrong. I'm in the wrong one. I'm in the wrong directory. One second. Let me see. One second. No, here we are. Okay, copy. Sorry, one second. Okay, so nothing is showing yet. So I just want to, okay, 1 second, let's see. Showing yet. Okay, so in the meantime, I want to show you what I built last night on this, because this could take a little bit of time, and I don't want to take all the time of the talk, because I got the back end part of it. So let me just show you the code that it generated for the front end I generated last night. 1 second, yeah. I'm going to move it over. Okay. 1 second. Sorry, I'm just going to show you the code for this. Why is it not letting me? Oh, here we are. Okay. So this is the code. So are we going to get to the front end? It's taking a little time. I never really live coded this before, but this is the Lovable project I did, and this is the code for that. And you see it lets you build. I'll show you the code it generates for that. 1 second, and then just to show you that. Again, this is the type of code it's going to produce. 1 second. Right, and this is not bad, but this is immediately the way I would work with this is to refactor this, because this is the type of thing that can easily get away from you. But like right now on the first iteration, this was the first iteration. If you refactor this again and you iterate over that, then it's fine. So this is produced by Lovable, and mine would produce a very similar thing if we gave it another 20 minutes. I don't want to take all of your time, but again, this is pretty good. And this is an expected pattern, and if you have the front end and then you built up the back end like we did, not really a full back end, but if you build it up like that, then you have clean code and you have beautiful code, and then you have something ready like to prototype right away. And to build up components like this is fantastic, because you have piece after piece, and you have everything you need. So this is the way I like to do it. This is the way I've been using it. This is the way I ship to production like this a lot. Obviously, I do a lot more of the actual coding here. We're trying to really freewheel, but that is the point. And the point is just to end off that this is positive, because this is going to be a multiplier. People are going to go online, start these ideas, see what they look like, and say, I want to build that. And they're going to need someone to build that. And people that really understand code will have a superpower. The AI is not going to replace engineers. It's going to take engineers that actually understand what's going on and be so valuable. And so I feel bad for engineers that are coming up now with like only AI. It's like, no, maybe they should take a diet from that, because they really need to understand what's going on. But for engineers that do understand code, that keep up their best practices, this is what we dreamed of. These are our wings. This is fantastic. And so yeah. That's I'd like to end. All right. Any questions?
Yeah. How do you explain to a non-technical person why the downfalls of AI and AI coding? You can explain it to us and we'll understand it, but how do you explain it to a non-technical person where things could go wrong?
I mean, the challenge of explaining things to non-technical people has always been, a difficult problem. I think you can always say that, like, I think in general, when you're dealing with something highly technical, so there's certain things in your house that you would do on your own. You would replace a pipe, but if you're really like wiring electricity, you can understand the catastrophe of messing with that, and you want that correct, right? Is that okay? It's usually not going to be enough. Yeah.
Because usually they'll be like, oh, what do we need another engineer for? Why don't we just have AI do it?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if there's always a good question to that. I don't good answer. Anyone else?
Employers calling for it. Why are you taking this?
Which subscription do you use?
So I have a GitHub Copilot subscription, and I have a ChatGPT subscription just because I like to. I probably don't need both, but I really like to ask a lot of other questions there, like ideas and things like that.
Yeah, both connected to VS Code.
So Copilot has its own. When you pay for a subscription to Copilot, it has models from it. So yeah.
Not really a question. I just want to second on what you spoke about when it comes to learning new things. I played around with the Arduino, and I wasn't going to go learn C++ or whatever the code that Arduino needs to do stuff. It's not that I built anything major with it, and I wouldn't ship anything to production, but I wouldn't have dreamed of trying to tinker around with it without ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And I do some backend now more than I used to, also because of AI, but again, I wouldn't consider myself a backend developer yet.
Yeah, I mean, I recently had to build this thing at work where like, it was just a CDK file that I needed like a pipe to go to a stream, to go to a pipe in like a different AWS account. Like, I would have figured out roles and pipes eventually, and why they're called streams and pipes and not streams and pipes and whatever. But my like we just iterated like with. Yeah, I'm saying, and that's where it shines, and that's where you shouldn't have to shine. You should not have to know like AWS's idiosyncrasies. Yeah.
Serverless and Terraform are very good with AI. You just tell it what you want. And
Yeah.
Generate everything.
Yeah.
Generate the gateways, the endpoints,
Right.
the lambdas.
Because it's
It just kind of connects everything for you.
Right.
It just generates a file, and you just do serverless deploy, and everything's connected. It just works.
because that's where you shine, and that's where AI doesn't shine. That's where AI shines, and where you don't. Like you don't, right? It's,
Holding up the bill. No, yeah.
no, but the.
You see, serverless is just setting stuff up and deploying it. It's not changing it.
No, but if your keys are set up, if you have like your secrets set up correctly, and so it's just your deploy file, you're not exposing anything. Meaning, yeah, if you.
It's widely used. It's just setting up.
Well, look, let's say I'm writing a CDK file, so I'm not expecting it to like console log my keys and then like send them to some API. Like it's just talking to my AWS account. No, the security concerns are a very big one, if you don't know what you're doing. Right. But if you do mostly know what you're doing, and you're like, but I have no idea what the syntax for this is because like I'm just going to write this once and forget about it, then it's beautiful. Yeah. All right. All right.
Serverless it's very basic. It just says what it's making.
Right.
It's very readable.
Anyone else? No questions? No critiques?
Well, imagine like right now,
reading code that AI generates, like reading it could be like reading legacy code, and it's you just let it go. Let's say in 5 years, 10 years, won't it get so good that you won't have to worry about it?
I'm not sure. I actually think that AI doesn't understand what clean code means in the sense that from a readability standpoint, I just think it's impossible to, unless you directly ask for it, it always seems to generate these like huge HTML files. One, because if you look at legacy code, there's lots of bad code out there. This is, by the way, a big rant I have. They're always worried. Big companies are like, well, you can't copy our code into ChatGPT because we don't expose our code to the internet. I'm like, nobody wants our spaghetti code. It's all horrible. Nobody wants it. This is why we are a successful business, is because somebody figured out how to get a person on an operator connected to a backend. But like, it's not our code. Our code is horrible, and we'd be much better off. We'd have much less defects if we were, running tests in AI. So I don't say, I think it will get better, but I think it will get better if people use it properly. And I think just for your own understanding, to be able to step back into it, it's so easy to turn around to this type of code and then be like, refactor it. Just build it out into components.
One thing I did notice that it depends on what you use. Like we talk about clean code, it depends on what you use to write the code. You're going to get different levels of cleanliness. If you just have an open code base that it can write anything, it will be very messy. But if you have a very like V0 or GitHub Spark or any of these very focused libraries that are trained on a very small set of APIs or whatever stack, it's going to be very focused on the output.
Yeah, so that's like, so I have a friend, friends at Meta that told me that they had internal tooling, and I think that the internal tooling there works a little better because of like what you're saying, that it's constantly reinforced by itself. But what I was showing is, and I showed it as I was generating the code, is I said make this type for me, and I specifically said like that. So then when it had the idea and the new ideas, then I was like, okay, fine, now make code on top of that. So then you're ready leading it into clean code. Because you're saying because you're leading along like that, and it's a little bit slower. But the bottleneck here will never be. There will never be like, Walter, you didn't write enough CRUD operations like, now, and like now we're behind, right? This will never be the bottleneck. The bottleneck will always be product deciding on, the difference between two uninteresting buttons. I'm saying like it's never going to be like. So we're fast enough now. The usage is being able to not spend time on the things you don't want to do, and spend time on the things you do want to do, because now you can just get past like all the stuff while maintaining beautiful code. Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I noticed when just asking ChatGPT to write code is that as it gets more edge cases, it starts digging itself into deeper hole. And one of the techniques I used was to have either you watch it and make sure it doesn't get into that hole, or you have some form of testing, like a verification stage, that and you run those two things in a loop to make sure the core functionality still works while it's still iterating on the solution. So I don't know if you've played with that at all, but I found it very useful.
Yeah, I had that when I had like I wrote a palette distributor for one of our friends in import exports. He has like this so it was like not getting it. So at some point I was just like, we're making tests, and like, right, if it doesn't pass those tests, then there's a mistake. The other thing is that sometimes when you're getting stuck, what I often would say is like, you change it back into ask mode, and you're like, do you understand my question? For the VR-based Medrash, I copied a picture and I kept saying like, you see, this is like the error, and then it kept making the stack higher. So I'm like, okay, do you understand the problem here? So the AI was like, yes, you want it to look more like this. So I'm like, no, I want it to look less. This is what you gave me. I want it to look less like this. There's no assumption that it understood the question, because it doesn't understand any question. So being able to check back into that is very useful. Yeah.
I was going to add to that. A lot of times I'll be putting it in and it gives me nonsensical answers. But then if I take the failing test and copy the entire error from the test and give it to the model, then suddenly it clicks in and it will spit back something a little bit more intelligent.
Yeah. I mean,
based on the test? Yeah, based on the failing test.
No. I'll want you tell the LLM to run the test, get the error code, fix it until it tests on the test.
Right.
And so it's very powerful.
Okay.
Right. Anyway, that's all right.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, one more.
Thank you, Walter, for reading talk. Thank you, everybody, for coming.
If you have like a standardized UI in your app, everything looks like similar.
Thank you, Fabulous, for hosting. If you want to help out at all, future events, either with speaking,
so let's say I have a bigger app right now with a lot of components, a lot of like core components, and everything looks like similar borders, similar everything. Is it gonna stick to the?
I mean, you're gonna have to play with it, but the more that you have standardized, the better.
And it's gonna look for context. And,
yeah, but that's part of the prompt. You say like, make it like that, reuse that, like use the code. I'm saying it's no worse than a junior developer. The other day I have this project and I have a junior developer on it. So I said to him, you copy the components from the admin panel to the facility panel. So I was like, I meant that he should reuse the components. But he copied them.